sell the development rights to their property to somebody south of the line, and the kicker there is the person who bought it south of the line or developer would not have to go through the rezoning process. They would just automatically get an upzone. So you could go from 4 homes per acre to theoretically 8, 10 homes per acre with no upzoning request.
Right, and look, the other thing that you need to understand, on this selling your developmental rights, it is a commodity that the price is set by the seller and the buyer. So theoretically also, if let's just say there's a person who owns property above the line, above whatever the rural line is, and then that property also goes below the line, theoretically they could sell themselves the developmental rights.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
And then they would get the automatic upzoning with less hassle from...
That is my understanding.
Right. And look, folks, I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. There's still some 6,000 or 7,000 houses in Santa Rosa County without a owner. I can tell you that 05, 06, 07, and 08, typically Deborah and I were sitting at a county commission meeting, and we would count up the number of lots that were being rezoned to single family residential. Sometimes maybe it was only 50 or 75, but most county commission meetings it was 400 and 500, sometimes 1,500 lots was rezoned at one time. There is no way, no how that anybody needs another building lot right now.
Yeah, there's thousands of them out there.
Thousands. And when you look at this county, that it's over 95% still agricultural, you can put one house for every 15 acres in some places, and some of the agriculture you can put one house per acre. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of lots that are available.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's about expenses. So of course, there's some conditions attached to this particular request. The board discussed, the planning board now suggested, this is just a suggestion though, we don't know if this will pass or not, but that they provide an east-west connector between Highway 87 and 89. The development must be on sewer, which means sewer lines have to go out there. Maximum 2,000 homes consistent with rural residential zoning.
2,000 homes, folks. Have you heard the story about the 10,000 house subdivision?
Yeah, let's not even get into that.
It's all washing in the creek right now.
No access to Clear Creek Road, limited access to Forest Hill Road, and the applicant will meet the access management requirements within the Land Development Code for existing lots located along Highway 89. So there's some conditions there, but still, this, the line of death has moved up. It allows for a lot more homes, obviously, in those areas.
Folks, look, pay attention.
And I should mention that the planning board chair spoke before the county commission, and he specifically asked them, if you're going to rethink where you put this line, at least send the whole rural development plan through the planning board. Let us look at it before you just piecemeal take a piece here and there.
And I think that was very wise of Mr. Bonney. He has proven to be a very good representative on the planning board. I've watched him in action several times, and folks, he just simply asked, we're responsible for this. Let us look through it and beat it down first and make sure we're doing the right thing here before the commissioners take action.
Right, and that was not, that suggestion was not taken up.
Didn't go over too well.
No, it went over like a lead balloon.
My comment about this is that it's one element of what I consider is a bigger picture of how we're controlling the ag zone properties in Santa Rosa County. What I would like is to look at this element as something that needs to be considered as the total big picture, and move it back to the local planning and zoning board for further discussion and recommendations, and not just look at one item of what's going on. Reason being is that obviously going additional urbanization northward will continue to cause problems. We've got what I think is a flaw in the Land Development Code. The Land Development Code does have, it's not a fatal flaw, but it's a flaw that's going to cause problems with ag zone property. And let me explain what that flaw is. We have, in our current Land Development Code, we have density and minimum lot size is one thing. You got the concept that 1 lot per dwelling unit, or 1 acre per dwelling unit, is the same as the density for all the agricultural zone properties. So what I'm looking at is what I consider a fundamental flaw in the land development code, which says 1 acre home sites through 10,000 acres. That's not allowed in any other counties I can find in Florida, with the exception of Escambia, and Escambia allows that through a special zoning only. They have called a village zone. So what I'm suggesting is don't look at this movement of this line as one little thing. I think we need to examine our whole rural plan, look at agricultural zoning, look at where those lines should be and how we want to phase this to the future. And not just look at it as a piecemeal fixes, but have a plan.
I don't disagree with the looking at the density, but I'm not sure with the transition phase where the two necessarily, and I don't call it piecemeal, but it's part of the processing.
Right.
And so I'm not sure where this is a problem. What you're just suggesting is a problem within the transition zone. Commissioner Sullivan?
Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate Jack's input, but here again, back when we put this plan together, that was our whole purpose, was to protect our farmland, especially the prime farmlands, and try to maintain character. Day one, I wasn't real happy with an invisible line that caused more complication. I do see the area from 182 back south being areas that's going to have growth patterns over the next few years. Some areas we may want to limit it to 1 per 5 acres, but there's other areas in that zone I think would probably be more reasonable to be maybe RR1, where you would have 2 per acre. So I just want to look at every one of those rezoning requests on its own merit, and not for it to be disallowed because it happens to be north of Willard Norris Road. So that's where I'm coming from. It's more definable. It eliminates confusion, but it continues to protect that prime farmland. So I'm going to move that we go ahead and approve moving that transition line, and I do appreciate what Jack said.
Okay, and I just ask that you, and I understand what you're doing too. My concern, Mr. Chairman, is that it's still a movement northward of urbanization. No matter how slight, he's right, it does define it more. It can be equally well defined further south. All I'm asking is you gentlemen, please take a look at the codes from some of these other counties and realize that density and minimum lot size do not have to be the same number.
Understood, and I think that's something that we can bring up through the planning board, but this move today, I think, eliminates confusion, which has caused some problems over the last couple of years, and hearing no objection to Commissioner Salter's recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Disapprove. Thank you, Jack.